picture it made for Hollywood. It's like The Exorcist, the prequel. Jesus gets off of this boat in this land, and this madman comes running up to him. Doesn't have on any clothes. He's not living in a house. He's living out in the tombs. That's sort of creepy, isn't it? And apparently they had bound him up in chains and everything, and he would escape. And Jesus looks at him, and he has compassion, and he wants to make him well. You know, back then they said the man was possessed by a demon. We would probably look at the man today and say that he was struggling with some mental illnesses. And Jesus wanted to heal him, to make him whole. He asked the man his name. Did you hear what his name was? Who heard what his name was? Legion. What is legion? Many. I actually looked up. Legions were ranks of the Roman army. And at the time of Jesus, that meant about 5,000 men in a legion. And so there were a lot of voices in this guy's head. And then we hear how Jesus gave them leave, and they go into the swine. Do you know what swine are? Pigs. You know what a pig is, right? Yeah, that's just another word for pigs. So they go into the pigs, and then the pigs run down the hill into the water and drown. And actually, I love when they say, well, you know, the town got wind of it, and they come to Jesus and they go, would you leave here, please? This is freaking us out. Wouldn't that be weird if you saw something like that happen? But the point of that story was that Jesus had compassion on the man, and he wanted to make him whole, to make him one. So instead of having all these conflicting voices in his head, he came into his own unified self. Now, Drew read that first reading so nicely. I wish almost that we heard it after the gospel reading, because it's almost like St. Paul had this gospel story in his mind when he was talking about it, because he's writing to the Galatians. But he says, you know, before Christ came, we were shackled. We were bound, just like that man, Garrison, the demoniac. And he said, then when we were baptized, he implies that it was like we were running around with no clothes, because he says, when we were baptized, we put on Christ as a garment. So Christ envelops us. See, I get these garments that envelop you, right? And we put Christ around us. And it is that casts out those conflicting voices in our heads and makes us whole and one. And so not only was Paul talking about that like Jesus did with the demoniac, that it makes us individually whole and one, but he also meant it for the whole community. And he said, you know, there's no longer male or female in Christ, or slave and free, or Jew and Gentile. These were the labels that people had for each other in those days. He said, they're all gone. And you notice I said label. So we asked people to make some labels. And if you bring me up, if there are any on the back table there, and maybe if the kids, could you go out and people raise your labels up and let them collect them? Would you collect the labels that people have made? Got lots of them. And we're going to place these on the walls and share some. Drummer. Oh, I wonder who that is. Come bring me some. Colin, you can yell some out.
Helpful. Goofus.
Goofus. Grandma. What else? Oh, we got lots. Actor, I saw.
Inclusive.
Okay. Another one. Boss. Uh-oh, I know.
Principal scientist. That makes
Okay. Here's the one I saw, actor. Okay, and then we're going to put some along here on the wall, just down here at the bottom. Animal lover. Can you help me lie them down? Mother. Volunteer. Sister. Lots of mothers. Student. Extrovert. Introvert. I didn't write that. Great friend. Are you done on that side?
Oh, yes. Your cup runneth over.
Peacemaker. Historian. Blank. Dog person. Mechanic. What does that one say? Happy. Okay. And then we've got lots of happies. Coordinator. Oh, they go on in. Another blank. Okay, let's go back in front. Let's go back in front. A lot of labels. These are things that labels we might put on ourselves or other people might put on us. There are a lot of different things. We, like in Paul's day, male and female, black and white, gay and straight, all kind of labels that we have. And Paul says that when we put on Christ, all those labels get sent into the pigs and run away. We just say goodbye to them. We don't pretend that there are differences among us. They continue. But we don't see ourselves in terms of labels. And I think in this day and age, a lot of things have been going on in our world, and if we could learn more to look beyond our labels and remember that we are all part of God's great big family. And the lessons this morning are trying to call us to, whenever we see these labels, to cast them out and to put on Christ and come into our right minds so that we can realize that we are all children of God and that we indeed are the world. We are the children. Thank you for being up here with us.